and today is all about the GS. No, it's not. It's about the CX. What am I talking about? No, the GS. I've got the GS in mind. Reason I've got the GS on the mind is because I've got all these cans of paint. I've got the clear coats for both the engines, but that's not today's job. No, that's not what I'm going to be doing today. But anyway, no, sorry. Today is the CX day. Engine bolts. Simply replacing the engine bolts with new, shiny ones, just to break out that black. So if you remember me painting the engine back in, what was it? April, May, something like that. I left the bolts in place, I just painted it all. I didn't want the hassle of changing all the gaskets and seals and everything, purely because the engine had been rebuilt just before I bought it. But what I'm going to do today is simply replace each bolt one by one. I've bought a bolt kit online. You can actually measure your own bolts and order them all separately. I think it probably works out a few pounds cheaper if you do it that way. But anyway, with what I've ordered, it comes with a diagram, so I know exactly what length bolt and everything goes where. Pretty simple stuff today, but it'll get that engine looking a little bit nicer. And that's it. That's all we're going to be doing. So it's going to be a relatively quick video today, but nonetheless, it's a step closer to getting CX on the road. So let's do it. Right, let's see, where shall we start? Let's start from the front actually. So looking at this now, it's not a big deal. I'm going to have to take the radiator off obviously because the radiator covers the front of the engine. I should have done this before I put the radiator on, but I didn't. But hey, let's get the tank off, get the radiator off, and then we can put the bolts in. Right, so you know what, let's do the clutch first. Let's do the clutch cover. Let's work from that. We'll work from the very front and then go all the way to the very back. So we need the clutch cover, that is 4 M6x28. all the bolts in place. That's pretty much all I've got to do for this video. It's all the time I've got to spend on it this sort of few days in between each video. But anyway, it's got the engine looking a heck of a lot nicer. It's got those little silver accents that just little like pop out now. So the red, the black and the silver are all coming together now, and it's really exciting. The next obvious thing I've got to do, what I'm guessing a lot of you are probably going to point out, is that the water radiator at the front needs some kind of grille. Well, that is in sort of development at the moment. I'm designing a custom made one for this bike with what I'm thinking is the full bold triangle logo to go on the front wing, like a mesh style. Sourcing a few different people that can get to fabricate that, and then that can go in the front as well, so that'll then protect the radiator from any stone chips or anything that I might get. So the next steps for this bike, which is going to be done this week, are the electrics. So I've got the switches and I've got the harness, I've got the key barrel, everything to be put back into the bike. We can then get all the regulator rectifiers, the ignition coils, everything in place. I can start building it around from there. I need to order the lights, the rear indicators and the rear stop and tail actually this week, so hopefully they'll be here in time for that video. But it's all going to get wired up. We're a step closer now to getting on the road, and the only other major thing I can think that needs to be done after that is the exhaust. So I've got that all measured up. I need to take it to someone who can cut and weld it for me exactly how I want it, and then that can go on the bike. And I think, oh, carbs, that's the other thing, carbs. So I've ordered some Canons for the carbs as well. Carbs are being cleaned, I need to put new jets in those. So yeah, a couple of big bits, but it's nearly there. Hang tight. So videos for this Friday I'm hoping will either be on the CX or the GS, depends which I have more time to spend on. The GS needs a little bit more time because that needs to be painted, or the cowl needs to be painted at least and lacquered. So I will see you next week, and if you haven't already and you like what you see, subscribe and follow me on Instagram, and I will see you this Friday. I will see you this Friday.